Les Waller here with Financial Independence YouTube channel and also the Marine Helping Veterans website. Today we are going to look at website hosting service providers and how to choose them. So you want to build a website. There's nothing more daunting than trying to weed through the hundreds of website hosting service providers around the world. How do we choose? What is important to us and what isn't? Is there anything I need to be on the lookout for that might bite me in the butt later down the road? Do I really need to have a dedicated server with a gazillion gigabytes of storage, or can I just get by with a shared server with 10 gigabytes of storage? We will be going through a listing of things you will need to decide on when deciding where you're going to put that $49 per month for your awesome website. Depending on why you're building a website will determine which of these are important and which are not. In the near future, starting next week, I will be reviewing web hosting services to help do the work for you, and I'll be using the below categories in my reviews. Of course, you can see my review here for the best web hosting service. It'll be in the description below. As an entrepreneur or someone who is into affiliate marketing. Hosting categories. Shared. Shared hosting is just that. Multiple sites being shared on one server, and it is possible for one of the other sites to have an adverse effect on your site due to shared resources. Generally speaking, these will be the least expensive services because all the websites are sharing the cost for hosting hardware and services. VPS, virtual. Websites are now virtually separated, each with their own dedicated resources. Your websites can still be affected by other websites on the server, but that is much less likely to happen. The price compared to shared hosting will be a little higher since a slice of the resources for that server are guaranteed for your use. Dedicated. Unless you're running a big business that relies on a web server for the core of its business, you won't need to have a dedicated server. A dedicated server is just that. You have the only website business on that server. With that may come some server management functions or extra expenses as part of server maintenance built into the contract. Business. This is probably going to be set up in one of the cloud server platforms like Google Cloud or Amazon Web Services. Plus it will have 24/7 support, SSL certificates for your websites, and the ability to handle many hundreds of thousands of visitors and a lot more. WordPress web hosting. WordPress is a free open source blogging and site building content management system, or CMS. Many services will offer this as part of their plan, and they'll take care of many things on the back end, like automatic backups, updating plugins, updating the server software and PHP. Support. Is it 24/7? And how do you contact support? Is live chat available? Telephone? Email? What is their response time? What will they support you with? Only technical problems or problems on the server side? What about questions concerning the use of WordPress, its themes, or plugins? Operating system Linux, Windows. Although it's not as important to the small entrepreneur who doesn't see the back end of the service, it could be very important for the larger businesses who bring specific skill sets for server back-end management. Email. How many email addresses are provided per website? Is it part of the plan or an add-on? Small businesses or people with just a personal website probably wouldn't need more than 5 to 10 per website. Bandwidth. How much bandwidth comes with it? Does the bandwidth scale by the cost of the plan? Can you upgrade your plan to grow with your bandwidth needs? Here again, a small personal website wouldn't need much, perhaps 20 to 50 gig. Data. Be careful with this one. Just like mobile phone plans can come with unlimited data or charge you based on the amount of data that goes to and from your device, so can websites charge you for data going to and from your website. With the advent of video these days, you can use up a lot of data in a short time with video. I frequently upload 2 gig, 15-minute video files to YouTube as part of my YouTube channel. Storage. I would say you want a minimum of 10 gig of storage. As long as you aren't storing video or high-resolution photographs, you should be okay. but it is something to consider if the plan you are looking at has storage limits. Uptime, SLA. Does the service offer any type of service level agreement that include percentage of uptime? For a serious business that loses money for every minute it is offline, this is super important. For example, financial institutions can lose millions in minutes of downtime. Now, you and I as bloggers, not so much. If your site is frequently going down, you should definitely consider moving to a better web hosting service provider. Reviews. Even though reviews can be helpful, the problem I have is that most reviews on the internet today, including many of mine, are written with dual intent. 1. We want to provide information to the consumer, that's you, so you can make a more intelligent decision about what product or service to use. 2. We may be reviewing that particular product because when you purchase it, we can make a commission without any cost to you, the consumer. So you need to look at more than one source when it comes to reviews and ask yourself, is this just a quick 20-cent review so this guy or gal can get a commission? Or did they at least put some effort into it and do their homework on the product? Does the review cover all or most of the areas that I'm discussing in this video? Or is it just a side-by-side comparison with check marks? Managed, unmanaged. This is separate from support. This is the managing of the physical servers and of the management of operating system upgrades and patches. How much will they do and how much will they work with you or inform you of when this is being done? Some upgrades require system reboots. Are your servers clustered or work in pairs? What happens if an upgrade or patch affects your operations? Will you know when they are doing this? Do you need to request for updates to be done and then coordinate the best time for you to have the system unavailable for some time? These are all things to consider. Migration support. Let's say you want to move everything from one of your old website hosting service providers to this new one. Do they provide migration support so that you can move seamlessly without loss of traffic or at least minimal downtime before your site is hot again? Is it an easy process? Do you do it? Do they do it? Most of the time you'll need to notify and change DNS settings on the old service as well as on the new service. Upgrade options. You really need to pay attention to these. Don't just go the cheap route and then find out a couple weeks or months later you don't have something that you need. Now you've got to pay more to upgrade when you probably didn't want to pay that amount to begin with. Talk about an upsell. As an example, I did a Bluehost review and they have so many plans and options that even I was confused. And I work in IT. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description below for that Bluehost review. Plans and pricing. I've talked about plans and pricing throughout this video because it determines what features and benefits you will receive from the web hosting service. Think about the purpose of your site or sites and plan for growth. Many of these pricing plans are for more than 1 year, so read the fine print closely. Plus, a lot of them will quote a really low price and come to find out that's not the monthly rate, but that's the rate for purchasing 1 or more years in advance. I prefer a plan that allows you to test their services for free first and then be able to opt into a paid plan. Like what you'll see in my Wealthy Affiliate review in the description below. We've covered the many features and benefits that will be presented to you when you are out window shopping for a website hosting service. I hope this helps you be able to make a more informed decision when looking at the possibilities these days. If you want to see how quickly you can build a website where I'm hosted, check out my Build Website Easy link in the description below and watch me build a website in less than 5 minutes. If you have any questions on the categories that I've covered or on looking at web hosting plans, please don't hesitate to put something into the comments. If you want to see what I've just talked about, you can visit marinehelpingveterans.com and look at it there. And if you think that something can be improved, please go ahead and leave a comment on that article. Have you already looked at some web hosting plans? How do they compare to what you see here? All right, folks, that's all I've got on web hosting service providers and how to choose. Bear in mind, I am going to be doing more web hosting reviews in the coming days and weeks. So please come back to either Financial Independence YouTube channel here, or if you like, visit marinehelpingveterans.com and you'll see them there as well. Thanks again, and may you have a fantastic day.